So I would definitely welcome Raj P Narayanam, the executive chairman and the founder of Zaggle, to share his story. It's a phenomenal story from concept to IPO. I think we are all willing to learn from his experiences. Thanks, Raj, for accepting this particular invite. So as they say, sit back, relax, enjoy the evening, and thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
So thank you for the warm welcome. It is truly an honor to be here at T-Hub, the mecca of innovation and entrepreneurship. Discussing a topic that deeply resonates with me, the journey of Zaggle from an idea to an IPO. It has been a long journey, 12 years, but we have made it from zero to an IPO. That is what creating the IPO 0 to 0 and in between creating the IPO is how I'll put it. For me, an idea is a desire deeply anchored in a dream. The true essence of an idea is in the journey that it takes and not just the starting point. The idea and the dream to go to IPO has not been the last 2-year hustle as most of you around me would have seen it. It has been a dream deeply set in my heart and mind for decades. One scorching summer, and this is in New Delhi, and imagine the New Delhi with its loo and, hot air. It is always, a very difficult city to live in. I was 16-year-old, way back 1987, and I was flipping through the business magazines and books which were like basically being weighed to give it to a raddiwala, as we call it in Delhi. What caught my fancy was a neatly bundled pack of Business India, which I picked up and read. Most that I wanted, after reading it, the most I wanted to do was wait for it, to come. And every fortnight I would take a little bit effort to go to the market and, pick up the Business India. So, what Business India actually, and, I am not here on behalf of Business India, but I'll tell you that magazine, went a long way in shaping my dream. That would, I would read about the entrepreneurial stories, and that would give me the highs and lows, what an entrepreneur goes through. It also, it also tells me that, the journey is just not one way. It is, multiple ways you have to go through before you go to a stage where it becomes one way. Also, I realized that a foundation was being built subconsciously in my mind that I have to somehow, be in that magazine as an entrepreneur whose company is listed. Back then, only listed companies got featured in coveted business magazine, and so the dream to be featured and to dare a bigger dream, was slowly starting to build, and to get listed on the stock exchange got seeded deep into my heart. Little did I know that this aspiration born out of pages of a magazine would shape the course of my life. So, I come from a mixed background of business family. My mother, is an industrial family based out of, Rayalaseema region, and my father is an academician, retired as Secretary to Government of India. So there was always a tussle. So should I take academics as a career path, or should I go towards my mom's side, who were all business people, means entire, the whole lot was a business lot. So it was always, for me, sometime here or there, constantly pricking me that which side should I take. And my dad was always that you have to study, read, go to US and, read more, become a big consultant in a big four and, take on your life from there. So what happened is that, but looks like mother's genes were like more stronger, and what happened is that by the age of 16, I started selling t-shirts to make little bit extra money, extra pocket money to be able to survive. I lived in Delhi. Delhi is a very expensive city. Those were like the t-shirts which I printed were like very nice. I was earning good money, but then the academic pressure, and you still listen to your, mom and dad, even in that age, in Delhi it is, and at least in our South Indian families, it is considered, not normal to defy parents. So, back then India was also going through a liberalization phase in the 90s, and I wanted to get global exposure. So I ventured out to study in US and joined as a consultant after doing my MBA from Stern School of Management. Went ahead and became a consultant with PwC in the US. As my experience with PwC brought me closer to the entrepreneurial world, my passion for a startup, burned brighter than ever before. So that's why I say aspiration is the idea that grows into a plan. Upon my return to India, I took a leap of faith, founded my first company called Pratima.com. Pratima is nothing else but Pratibimb, and from there we took Pratima. Riding the wave of dot-com boom, it was ahead of its time and paved the way for the inception of a company called eYantra. eYantra is a very familiar company. It had operations in 51 odd countries and raised multiple rounds of private equity. A company specializing in merchandising and corporate gifting. So the idea of Zaggle came out of a need to fill a void in the merchandise space that wasn't very tangible. Zaggle's incorporation story stands as a testament to the fact that companies who pay attention to their customers, will always remain profitable. It is the customers who decide the course of a business, not the investors, not the board, not the employees, and never the competition. So if you look at it, this is how this was the first picture taken in 2011, when all of us went out, with Zaggle t-shirts and a obnoxious logo of Zaggle that time. And this is where, we also launched, eYantra Zaggle Supercard in the market. So the gift card business, was doing very, very well, and we were basically in the rewards and gift cards business. By 2018, we had already issued about 5 lakh card in the market. But the biggest worry was that in 2018, while Zaggle was a leading prepaid card and gift provider, and I was also planning to move full-time into Zaggle. So while I founded Zaggle, I was always away from Zaggle till about 2018. So 7 years banvas for me. I was running multiple other companies around that time. So I was faced with a very critical question that entrepreneurs are faced with when they are at crossroads examining the expansion and the growth options. So we had 2 options to go mile wide and inch deep. That is, build an expanded client base and serve each of them with one financial solution. Or to go inch wide and mile deep, that is, pick up limited clients and provide multiple financial solutions to them. So this is how an entrepreneur has to constantly juggle, take a call, and all these gut calls, which is, majority of the times they are not backed by data, but they are backed more by gut, and later when the data is enough to give gut a very good backing. So we depended on our board, and the highly experienced members of the board at Zaggle evaluated both options and decided that a middle ground was required to leverage the immense opportunities that were opening up across industry segments. What Zaggle did in the earlier days, roughly about 650 odd, crores in GMV. Today, Zaggle's GMV stands in tens of thousands of crores. So it has come a long journey from 650 crores in 2018, to about tens of thousands of crores, in 2023. It has been a great, long, beautiful journey. Wondering how we did it, that's all credit to the Zaggle ecosystem which we have prepared. Want to show this entire slide. And this slide where on one side we have banks, other side we have merchants, third side we have customers, and in between, is Zaggle. And on the other side, we are leveraging a lot on NBFCs and the fintech ecosystem. As we are moving up the fintech ladder, and our ambitious businesses, which are like basically credit card and spend analytics platform, which we have launched with Bank of Baroda. At the same time, we are also going deep by building better employee engagement solutions to digitize rewards and benefits and disburse expenses and manage spends. Moving towards a one single mandate, which is one platform, one app, and one Zaggle. So this is a beautiful story of IPO, and I also want to highlight, while we were building the Zaggle ecosystem, the question of whether to do the IPO or go for private equity, was always a question mark. So, for any entrepreneur, first he wants the money. How it comes sometimes is secondary. But for us, who had already raised multiple rounds of private equity from the market, we were very, very clear that, it's not about how much money we are raising, it's about from whom we are raising. That is a very, very critical aspect. And I'll tell you, and I have to really credit one gentleman. I'm not sure if he is here, but I have to credit that gentleman. It was way back, I think 2021, November or December. It was a laid back Saturday morning, and we were looking at, we had received about 4 or 5, term sheets, and we were going through the intricacies, the clauses, all of those, which are very, very common clauses, were what we were looking at. These, and the valuation which we had got was like roughly about 6.5, to 7,000 crores, and that was by one of the largest global private equity, player in the world, one of the biggest, and they are very, very large. So we were standing at crossroad. We had multiple options. Do we take from one, one guy? Do we take it from, multiple people? Or do we just abandon the, road and look at, running profitably? We have been profitable for 5 years, and just go on, running the company. So in the, and in fintech, most of these guys whom we spoke to, profit was unfashionable. They did not want you to be profitable. They said, if you are profitable, somewhere being profitable, you are compromising on scale. So we want to, assure that you as a promoter of the company has the ability to go ahead and run a company non-profitably or unprofitably. So for me, it was, I said, that is okay, but, tell me what is the path. So where do we go? How much do we scale? So a lot of those questions, were happening. And in my discussions, midst of our discussion, my dear friend, Abhay Deshpande, who is the founder of Recycle and is also a board member at Zaggle, threw a curveball. Okay, with his all characteristic, candor, pointed out that a lot of people can raise money through private equity, but not everyone has the mettle, to go ahead and opt for an IPO. We did a quick research, to find out that only 400 companies have been listed in the past 15 years. So that's like, imagine, about 25 odd companies getting listed in an entire year, in a country of 140 or 138 odd billion people. How many of us have the luxury of being, so question was, for me, it was like my teenage dream. And, I always said that how many of us have the luxury of being reunited with our teenage dream? And once there, I did not want to return. So first I did the IPO in my head. So, I always say, whatever you want to do it in your head first. If you have done it in your head, then do the backwards. It's easier to plan that way. I thank Abhay for his unwavering support through his journey. I thank Chandrasekhar, NP Chandrasekhar, who has been, a person, ideas person, constantly giving us ideas how to, make our way through the IPO. And it has been a speech which was loved and admired by a lot of people at National Stock Exchange. The journey of Zaggle is one powered by aspiration, driven by validation, and created through manifestation. Today, I am proud to share that Zaggle is the only listed, profitable SaaS fintech company on the stock exchange. Oversubscribed by about 13 times, already giving a over 60% return in less than 50 days to our investor. While we celebrate the success of Zaggle here, and I'm grateful, very, very grateful, to T-Hub for giving me this opportunity to come here and share my journey. I also want to humanize the hustle, the downs that come with the ups in life, and the failures that precede the success. I always remember going public is not the ultimate testament to success. I do not want young entrepreneurs, and there are a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs here, to lose hope or feel lost if they are not able to raise money. Zaggle remained unfunded, bootstrapped till about a year from the IPO. Most important testament that will still remain is value creation and value accretion. Keep measuring your business on 3 parameters: mind share, market share, and profit share. Our motto and priorities at Zaggle have been very clear. Every strategy that we conceptualized, planned, and executed all these years has led to an increase in at least one of the above, which is mind share, market share, or profit share. To conclude, with greater power comes greater responsibility. I look forward to embracing this journey, creating wealth for all our shareholders, and most importantly, building a competent and a competitive fintech ecosystem that will ink India and Hyderabad's name on global fintech map. I am now, as we speak, as I talk, manifesting a NASDAQ listing, for Zaggle. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the journey of Zaggle is one that takes dream from idea to realization. A journey that has just started. Picture abhi baki hai because Zaggle grows as Zaggle knows.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.